Hello, Bertram here.
Hi, this is AJ from MFG.com. To whom am I speaking?
It's George Bertram from Pregis Intellipack.
How you doing today, George?
I'm good. How are you, AJ?
Doing great. Hey, could you take a minute and describe your company, what you do, and what kind of products you source?
Okay, well, we're actually a division of a fairly large company that's involved with all sorts of packaging materials and solutions and systems, but Intellipack is involved with foam in place and foam in bag packaging systems, and we design and assemble our machines in Tulsa. They're fairly complicated, and some of them involve thousands of parts, and we buy most of the parts from outside suppliers and assemble them, so we don't fabricate parts ourselves. We don't have any machine shop capability. We don't mold parts. We don't make sheet metal. If we can do it with a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, then we'll put it together and ship it out. And we will test the machines, of course. But we're very reliant on our suppliers for parts, and making part deliveries on time is crucial, and getting good quality parts obviously is crucial as well. Consequently, we're involved with literally hundreds of outside suppliers for all different kinds of items, from plastic injection molded parts to machine parts to castings to rubber molded parts, as well as things like motors and bearings, those kind of purchased items.
So you're all over the place. Standard products, discrete parts, and everything in between.
Including circuit boards. We buy custom boards in some quantity, and also wire harnesses. We buy just about everything you could imagine, it seems.
Sounds like it. George, how long have you been using MFG.com?
I think it goes back to 2002. We were probably one of the earlier users, as far as I've heard anyway. But we've used it steadily since then. It's been very useful for us, very helpful, and it's I'd say in large measure is enabled us to succeed as a company, is one of the key factors that we were able to source parts with such minimal effort, relatively speaking, and find good vendors and get good pricing at the same time. So it enabled a small company to build a pretty good product at a reasonable price is really what it did for us.
Can you talk a little bit about the efficiencies, if any, that we've brought to the sourcing to your sourcing efforts?
It's difficult to compare efficiencies to the way we did things back in the old days, where we just called a few vendors and sent out drawings. I mean, the kind of exposure we get now when we post an RFQ on MFG is huge, and the amount of effort to post an RFQ is less than it would be to contact one supplier and send them a set of drawings. So it multiplies our efficiencies by factors of 10 or 20 or 100, I don't know, orders of magnitude. It's truly been a revolution. It's enabled me to do a lot of other things. I mean, I'm the director of engineering. I'm supposed to be doing engineering, not procurement, but I end up spending a fair amount of time on procurement. For me to deal with what I've had to deal with over the years, doing it the old-fashioned way, I need a whole staff of people. I need purchasing agents. I need a purchasing department. And we don't have any of that. And frankly, even if I did have all of that, doing it the old-fashioned way, I don't think we would have gotten the same result. We would not have done it as well.
I see. Such a diverse company, and should I say a company with such diverse supply chain needs and supplier needs. What's it been like managing that? It must be like herding cats with so many different suppliers with different capabilities and different locations. Has MFG.com given you any any sort of avenues or options for managing such a diverse stable of suppliers?
Well, once we find good suppliers, we tend to stay with them. So the problem of management comes in when a supplier goes out of business or they suddenly decide they want double the amount of money for a particular part than we were paying. So once we set up with a supplier, I wouldn't say management is a big problem. We just continue to generate POs as needed for the parts. If deliveries are late or if quality becomes an issue, then you have to get involved. But in general, like I said, once we set up with a supplier for a particular item, we stick with them. We don't like to bounce around unless we need to, unless there's a reason. So
in that vein. Can you speak a little bit to what attracts you to a supplier?
Well, I'd say in our business, we have to build machines at a very low price with respect to our competition. So pricing is key, but pricing is useless without good quality. So you have to have that. Responsiveness is important. We like suppliers who answer the phone when we call and respond to emails when we send out emails in a timely fashion. All those things are important. Lead times and delivery are key. Basically the same things everybody else is looking for, except in our case, I think we're a little more price sensitive than some folks might be because of the nature of our business. But
for you, conversely, during the discovery phase, when you're looking for a new supplier, or when you're sourcing a new component or a new assembly, in the discovery phase, conversely, what would cause you to ignore or overlook a supplier?
Well, bad ratings on the site. If I look at a supplier and he's had some negative reviews, it doesn't take much, and then we'll avoid them like the plague. That's a real red flag, and I've had problems with that in the past. Earlier on when we started, we took a chance with some suppliers. Now we just don't like to take the chance. So that would be the first thing. Other things we look for, just I guess responsiveness. If I call a supplier and they don't get back to me for 3 days, well, I don't really want to deal with that. I can't deal with 3-day delays on phone calls. We tend not to go overseas. I think that's maybe not universal with everybody, but we like to stay domestic. In our case, if a company's quoting from China and another company's quoting from Canada or the U.S., we'll always gravitate toward the domestic or at least North American supplier. We're just not big enough to have feet on the ground over in China and in the Far East, so we're leery. Although we do buy some parts from there, it's not. There are some very key components we do get from China, but it's only a small percentage of parts.
I see, and that's common. Any closing thoughts, George, about your experiences on MFG.com?
Well, it's been good. It's as I said earlier, it's one of the reasons why Intellipack has succeeded as a company and done so well, is we have been able to leverage our resources here so dramatically using MFG to find good suppliers, find lots of good suppliers, and get some good pricing. And all of that leads to success. To do it, as I said before, to do it the old-fashioned way, I don't think we would have made it. We would not have been able to get to where we had to be to survive. So in some ways, I credit MFG as one of the key factors in our success. And I really mean that. I'm not saying that just to be a nice guy on the phone. Truly, MFG has been a real weapon in our arsenal against the competition, and we've used it very successfully on literally thousands of parts.
George, thank you so much.
Okay. Have a nice
Take
day,
care.
AJ. Bye.